And now it's time for something new. Upcoming is a pilot for our brand new radio drama, Kabede, documenting the experiences of Ethiopian migrants to Israel. We hope you enjoy. Blessed be God, the Lord, the powerful with his power, who weakens the strong with his strength, and the powerful with his power. Praise be the name of God, the blessed God.
Good night, Daddy.
Sleep tight, Daddy. You have a big day tomorrow. You can't be tired for Siegt.
Why do we celebrate Sigid Safta? All the other kids at school practice Hanukkah.
Back in our home country, everyone celebrates Siegt. It is an Ethiopian tradition.
Why are the traditions so different, Safta? Was Ethiopia really that different to Israel? Papa always said that I'm lucky to grow up now, that so much has changed since he was my age.
They are very different, Daddy. When we arrived in Israel, it was so different to what we had grown up with. The houses were different, the food was different, and the technology we could never have imagined. We travelled here through Sudan and then on to Israel with nothing to our names. We had no money, no clothes, no food. Your papa and I were starving. We faced a journey of hunger and thirst just to reach a place we thought would be our promised land.
You were so brave, Safta. That must have been so scary.
We were all scared, but it was a journey many Ethiopian Jews just like us had to make. Your papa was only young then. I had to make this decision to protect him from the troubles in our homeland. Hurry, Kabede! We don't have much time!
But where are we going, Mama? I want to bring my things.
Come, Kabede, we don't have time! We must leave now! We could no longer stay in Ethiopia. It was not a safe place for us anymore. A civil war had broken out between the Ethiopian government and a group of rebels. We were all in danger. We decided to risk everything to journey to our promised land, the place we thought we would be safe. This decision was made by thousands of Ethiopian Jews just like us. We left everything we knew behind and began our dangerous journey in the hope of a new life. First, we crossed the border to Sudan on foot. We survived the heat, the hunger, the thirst, to shape a new life for our children. I made this decision for your father. I had to do everything in my power to protect him.
Mama, my feet are hurting.
Kabede, we must keep going. We don't have long left now.
But Mama, we've been walking forever. I'm tired.
Just think about the end of our journey. We've been living happily in our promised land and all this would be worthwhile.
Why can't we just stay at home?
It's safer for us to leave, Kabede. We are in danger at home. This is our way out. Back there, people are trying to hurt us. But here, we can be safe. There are people that want to help us. We were in danger and viewed as outsiders in Ethiopia. We had to make this journey through the Sudanese desert, but the risk was very high. Many did not survive the journey. Your Uncle Henok was one of them.
Kabede! 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 Mama said stay close.
But running's warming me up. It's cold and windy. Look, if I jump, then I move.
Kabede, Mama wants you to come back. Let's go!
No, I don't want to. You can come play with me instead.
Kabede wants to play. You can stay and rest here. I'll go look after him.
Okay, but please don't stray too far. The Israelis will be here soon. We've walked this far, we can't be late, or they'll leave without us.
Okay, we will stay close.
Everybody get down! Down! Get down the floor! Down!
We had been found by Sudanese rebels. They started asking us who we were, where we were from and why we were there. They began to round us all up, all 500 of us. I was terrified. Just when all hopes were lost, from behind us we could hear the sound of boat engines. The Israelis came onto the shore and rebels greeted them. They began talking in Hebrew. We could not understand what they were saying. The language was so foreign to us. All we could tell was that the talking quickly turned to shouting, and the shouting turned to gunshots. All of us dropped to the floor.
Mama! Mama!
Over here, Kabede. Just stay where you are.
Mama, I'm scared.
Please just stay.
I can't.
Kabede, no!
Your father was scared. He was only young and wanted to be safe. Your uncle Henok was brave. He was looking after his little brother and was hit protecting him. That is why your father doesn't talk about Henok.
What's wrong, Mama? Where's Henok?
Kabede.
Come on, let's move! Get to the boat!
Kabede, come.
We piled onto the boats, and the Israeli soldiers took us up the coast to the landing strip. We could see the plains from a mile away. Finally, we were reaching our freedom.
Mama, where's Henok? He isn't here.
Henok can't come with us, Kabede. He got hurt by one of the guns. He's not with us anymore.
But where is he? Will he be in Israel?
No, Kabede. He is with God now.
But he was right behind me. Where did he go?
I saw him fall. He didn't get back up. It's just us now, Kabede.
You must have been so scared, Safta.
I was. We all were. But it was for the best. The soldiers took us onto the plains. They were hot, they were crowded, and people were shouting and crying. But they carried us across the Red Sea to freedom and to safety here in Israel. Or so we thought.
What went wrong, Safta? You were so excited to come here.
You are very used to this country, Adi. You speak Hebrew. You eat Israeli food. You understand their technologies, their ways. Our generation had a very different experience of this new land. We had come from a very different world. In Ethiopia, we were living in huts, with no running water, with no technology. Our culture and our traditions were so very different to our new host country. It is hard for you to imagine this, Adi, but we suddenly found ourselves in an alien world, where we could not understand the language of our neighbours, and were unable to even catch a bus or a taxi without the help of your generation.
I don't mind helping you get the buff, Safta.
I know, Adi, but your generation is far more adapted to this country. When your father was your age, it was very different. Come, Kabede, our new home awaits. How did you open the door?
It was already open. Mama, look. Look inside.
Kabede, no! This is not our home. There are people's things in here.
Who are you? What are you doing in our house?
We thought this was our house. We didn't mean to intrude.
Oh, what house were you allocated?
I don't know. I don't read Hebrew.
Show me your paperwork and I'll have a look. I know a little Hebrew. Oh, I think you're a couple rows down.
Thank you. Kabede, come. We'll go now. It was no wonder we got confused. There were rows and rows of identical houses, each one identified only by a Hebrew writing, none of which we could read. It was impossible to tell which house was which. They were so very different to our houses back in Ethiopia. There were flushing toilets and ovens. We had never seen such things. Everyday appliances for you were so astounding to us. We were told these absorption centres would be temporary, that we'd only live here for a year before being moved into our future home. They were wrong.
Did things get better for you and Papa?
They did. But adjusting to this new life was very hard for both of us. Your father had a very hard time at school. The education you have here is so different to what we had in Ethiopia. He had never been schooled in the same way as Israeli children. He struggled to keep up with the other children and was eventually put into separate classes. The other children could be cruel. Your father was considered different by them all. We thought we were coming to a land of freedom, our promised land, but we still faced discrimination. His culture, his traditions, the colour of his skin were all different to the other children. Your father had to adjust to this and deal with discrimination on a daily basis.
Yosef,
Yes.
Bahano,
Yes.
Alamo,
Yes.
Hadas,
Yes.
and our new student Kabede, Kadevi. Sorry, how do you pronounce that?
It's pronounced Kabede.
Well, welcome, Kabede. If you'd all now like to get on with the worksheet on your table in groups, and we will feed back as a class in 5 minutes.
Did he just say Kadebi? What a stupid name.
No, my name's Kabede, not Kadebi. What's your name?
Oh, so it's Kabeti?
Ha, what kind of name is that?
It was my granddad's name. We're from Ethiopia.
Where is that? Sounds rubbish.
Hey, come on guys, that's mean. He's new and we should be looking after him.
You can. I don't want to be anywhere near him. He's different to us.
You two are mean. Ignore them, Kabede. Come on, let's do this work.
They are so mean.
They were very mean, but they were ignorant. You will find that, Addy. Most of these people are ignorant.
Ignorant? What does that mean?
It means they do not understand, Addy. These people could not understand why we were different, and that everyone is not the same. I am Jewish, and I am Ethiopian. I can be both. They didn't understand that. They expected everyone to be the same, and they picked on your father because he was what they considered different.
Oh, people are so mean. I can't imagine the children at school being that mean to me.
No, and that is a good thing, Addy. It has progressed. You have been raised with Israeli culture as well as Ethiopian, but you are an Israeli child. Many people are more accepting now, but unfortunately it is not always the case. Some people are still stuck in old ways and view us as outsiders. You have seen the newspaper articles. Many people like us still face discrimination.
Is that why Papa went to that demonstration?
Yes. We have all risked our lives to be here. Many of us died on the journey just to get here. Yet, we still face violence and hate. We go to demonstrations like that to show solidarity with our fellow Ethiopians.
It was for Zohar, wasn't it? That's why Papa had to go.
Yes. Your father was devastated when he found out about Zohar and what had happened to him. The police are here to protect us, not strip us of our right to live.
But why would they do that? I don't understand.
I don't know, Addy. The Moroccans don't have this issue, or the Russians. We can't let them define us, though. We need to be who we are, keep our culture, and prove their stereotypes wrong.
Yes, Safta. When I grow up, I want to be just like Papa and prove them wrong.
Wow, what a show! Our Twitter is going crazy for Kabede. Anna from Eastleigh says, love Sutton History FM. Their new show Kabede has only had one episode and I'm already hooked. Thank you, Anna. All of us here are definitely hooked too. Make sure you tune in next week, guys, to find out what happens next. Will Adisi follow in his father's footsteps, or will he lose his culture completely? Next up, some throwback tunes from the 1980s.